Okay, the first round of the Group A round robin pools of this tournament, we have Mr. Nobody versus, oh sorry, not Mr. Nobody, Mr. T-Spin versus Nobody. These names are probably gonna throw me up for a couple of minutes, so apologize for that. But as you can see, we have like a colliding skill, clash of like skill levels here. Nice two chain from Mr. T-Spin, by the way. Um, put it off on the side so he doesn't interrupt his main chain, so he can still set off something without sacrificing any resources. Unfortunately, nobody had a three-chain response and sent the garbage back to the owner, back to sender rather. So Mr. T-Spin's at the top here. He's gonna need to dig down to access those blues to eventually get to his main chain, even though it does cut a little bit. Nobody probably just needs like, well, he did only need a purple, had it, but I guess he's reaching for a purple red here to set up his main chain. Mr. T-Spin here gonna have to really get creative here with his dig down. It could work. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the purples he needs in column 2 to access the rest of the chain, so he's going to cut there, and that is going to be nobody's first point on the board. 1-0. Very nice. Okay, round 2. As you can see, both players are actually building GTR, which is kind of like the most common build form, or rather transition, for Puyo players all skill levels. The real difference in GTR, though, as you can kind of see right here, and probably won't see because Mr. Nobody sent out a nasty 3-chain of power, because Mr. T-Spin was not looking very quickly and didn't see the 3-chain off, so he sacrificed himself for it. So that's a nice too. But what I was trying to say here about GTR, the formation at the lower left here is going to be the same, but like how you build it towards the right and vice versa if you're building it towards the left, it's gonna kind of vary on like what you know about how to build hieroglyph forms in the first place or regular forms in the first place. Um, it's gonna look differently depending on, and you'll probably see it later on in other matches as well, how players tackle their own GTRs and whatnot. But right now, no GTRs are being made right now as nobody is being heavily aggressive by Mr. T-Spin here. So Mr. T-Spin's on the slower side of things in this matchup, placement-wise. But again, this is what the round robins will do. It'll clash players within like skill levels, but instead of having you like lose twice just because you didn't, I guess, practice or not as experienced as the other, you get to know what your seed, get to like know what your placement is in the bracket, and then fight players around those skill levels. So no 2-0 and go home here, which is the beauty of this format. Anyways, what you witnessed there was an all-clear start. So basically, both players had an easy 3-chain all-clear, and they had to attack pretty much as quickly as possible, or vice versa. Since nobody had like a more superior chain, the damage was like multiplied heavily for both of them, but I think nobody had like a bigger chain going on there. And I was trying to explain what GTRs were, but that happened, so that was my mistake. Maybe it was some GT. Okay, so you see a little bit of GTR in Mr. T-Spin's side. No, I think that might be more of sandwich, just entirely messed up, I guess. But nobody over here has their GTR pretty much set in stone. They just need the purple in column 2 to make sure it connects all together. But probably doesn't have to worry about it too much since Mr. T-Spin does seem to be having some issues here. Goes for the 4-chain, even though his chain wasn't even ready, and nobody actually got their chain off in time. So maybe I feel like if Mr. T-Spin kind of gives himself a chance like look at the other board before he set that off, he could have timed that better and got some garbage ball there. But that's going to be it for that round. 5-0, strong lead for nobody, but Mr. T-Spin can catch up here. We've seen crazy things happen in Puyo history, and I've been witness to such crazy things in history Puyo. A little bit of a boxing formation for nobody's GTR here, and Mr. T-Spin is opting to go for sandwich, I believe, but probably made a misdrop, and that blue is going to interrupt everything if he doesn't fix that, and that red too. I think they were trying to do the turnaround, but hopefully we fail for that. Nobody's chain is going to cut. But it was a 6 chain rather than like a scrap of oh maybe no, not quite. Maybe a few more links and the power would have actually came in clutch there, but not exactly the case here. It risky spin didn't like put some extra unneeded pieces in the transition part, which was the most important part of the sandwich, and probably would have survived there, but unfortunately did not do that. On that. Mr. T-Spin actually decided to, or basically tried to decide if they want to enter something there, but didn't. However, nobody is struggling to get their yellows, and they did just get those, so I wouldn't just jinx it. Full chain for nobody here. This T-Spin could potentially save it if he did not put that red purple in column 1 that did not contribute to the team at all, giving nobody a clean 7-0 for this bracket run, or round robins bracket, I guess. I will see you guys next match.